Today, I'm reviewing this Rolex Explorer 2, which I've been traveling with in Canada for 2 weeks. A few things caught me by surprise about this watch, and if you stick around till the end, you'll find out why, see lots of wrist shots, and maybe learn a few things about Canada. Let's go. I travel with kids, so when I pack, I keep it to essential gear. The Explorer 2 fits that mold. Once I put it on, I knew it wouldn't come off. This thing is versatile and really built for adventure. Moving luggage around, I have peace of mind not worrying about scratches with this Explorer 2. That peace of mind comes from the brush finish, which makes the watch rugged and scratches not easily noticeable. After checking in, we do a quick lounge pit stop to relax before a 25-hour flight journey from Singapore to Montreal. A few drinks to tame the nerves before boarding. I quickly set the Explorer 2 GMT function to the destination time. This complication on a traveler's watch is practical. I have a ritual of setting the GMT hand right after boarding. It sort of signals adventure to my brain and excites me for what awaits. After landing, I wasted no time getting some Tim Hortons. It had been years for me. Now this is a no frills kind of place, and the Explorer 2 feels right at home. Tim Hortons is the perfect pit stop before we get into a drive in that black SUV behind me for an hour and a half north of Montreal into the Laurentians. As we reach the cabin, I catch up with friends and family I haven't seen in years. Now the last thing I want is a watch that diverts attention. The Explorer 2 serves that purpose really well. It scratches the itch of being a professional model, but without the hype, and it stays off the radar conversations. So pretty early into the trip, I felt good about the companion I brought. Once I beat the jet lag, I spent a bit of time on the water, making food, and this is where you forget you're even wearing the watch. It serves its purpose and becomes part of you, and you don't really have to worry about it not blending in. Next up, we're going to drive to Quebec City, which is one of the earliest European settlements in North America. We're staying in a castle which was the home of a French governor in the 1600s. Now, for any Rolex fan, this is where there's something pure about the Explorer 2. It's tool-oriented and was a watch built on exploration, and it's emblematic of the origins of Rolex. With its brush finish, the watch is incredibly versatile as I take it through its paces of weather, family, and kids activities. Now I end up trying to read time with my hands full a lot of the time, and their legibility is very good. The reliability and dependability factor is something you feel when traveling with it. Another perk is the lume on the white dial. It sometimes pops when you don't expect it, and in mixed light condition it really keeps the dial interesting. At night or in really low light conditions, I've had no issues reading the time. I particularly like this model because it's not hype. It doesn't get any attention, it just does the job of delivering time with some nuance of pops of colors of orange and a rugged finish. Our time in Quebec comes to an end, and we make our way to Montreal, where there's a lot more things to see and do. First spot to go to in Montreal is St. Viator, a bagel shop that's been in business for 60 years. The shop was actually launched in a similar era as the first Rolex Explorer. Now, I've owned novelties in the past where once I wear the watch for almost 2 weeks, I get tired of the design. I don't get that with the Explorer 2 at all. The design is timeless, and the more time you spend with it on the wrist, the more you enjoy it. Another thing I don't get tired of is the food culture in Montreal. Here, we're in the old port of Montreal, which has been a vital hub for trade and exploration for centuries. Similar to Rolex, Montreal has a rich history of exploration. The dimensions of the watch I think are misleading. I was expecting it to wear a lot bigger when I knew it was a 42mm watch. But after nearly 2 weeks, I can say that it wears very similar to a 40mm ceramic sub or GMT. And my biggest concern going into the trip was how comfortable will it be to wear this 24/7 for 2 weeks. To answer this question, I'm picking up the biggest Canadian comfort food, known as poutine, from a spot in Montreal called Banquise, which I rate as the best one. Now I rate the comfort from this watch coming from the wider bracelet on the current reference. It creates a very balanced feel. It almost feels like you're wearing a bracelet. It's not top heavy at all, which is something you get with the ceramic Submariner or GMT. I would say the Explorer 2 feels a lot more balanced on the wrist. All good things come to an end. As the holidays wrap up, I start reflecting on the trip and conclusions I have around this watch. This watch is tremendous if you want a Rolex professional that's under the radar and geared for adventure. The only drawback might be if you have a wrist size below 7 inches, the watch might be big. There's also something I would discourage for this watch. Don't buy it if you plan to rotate it in and out of your collection, because it doesn't have that wow factor. And the best benefit you get from this watch is by keeping it on and benefiting from the versatility factor. If you've enjoyed this video, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I look forward to sharing more about my collecting journey with you.